Hello students, now we will start with the new chapter, chapter number 8, Cell. Cell, the unit of life. The definition of the cell. First, the branch of science that deals with the study of form, structure and composition of cell is called cytology. Cell is the structural and functional unit of life. Why it is structural and functional unit of life? Because if you see a cell, it contains various cell organelles along with the nucleus. This is the minimum requirement of any life, because you can see a unicellular organism. In unicellular organism, all the life process taking place in single cell. So if any one of the cell organelle is deleted, then it will not perform the function, or it will not even it will not show the life. So structurally it is a unit of the life. And when we talk about the functional unit of life, means it will not able to perform any one of the function if anything from a cell is deleted. Okay, so cell is the structural and functional unit of life. In unicellular forms like amoeba, paramecium, yeast, bacteria, these all are the unicellular forms, and in a single cell it perform all the essential functions. Okay, so in unicellular forms all the essential functions are performed in a single cell. But when we talk about the multicellular organism, different kinds of tissues aggregate to perform the different function. So they shows the division of labor. About the discovery of the cell, you know that the first cell was discovered by Robert Hooke, but that was not the living cell, that was the dead cell. And actually he discovered the cell wall because protoplasm were absent there. Okay, but first living cell was discovered by Anton von Leeuwenhoek and described the cell. Later, the Robert Brown discovered the nucleus. Now, cell theory. You already studied about the cell theory in previous classes. Schleiden in 1838, who was the German botanist, and Schwann in 1839, who was the British zoologist, together formulate the cell theory in 1839. And Rudolf Virchow in 1855 modified the hypotheses which were given by Schleiden and Schwann to give the cell theory a final shape. Now, the cell theory is understood as all the living organisms are composed of cells and the products of cells. All the cells arise from pre-existing cell, that is omnis celluli cellula. Okay, the second point were not is not discovered by the Schleiden and Schwann. This point is added by Rudolf Virchow, because Schleiden and Schwann did not know about the origin of cell. Okay, so the cell theory is these 2 points you have to remember. Okay, cell. Now the shape and size of the different cells. Shape and size of the cell varies greatly according to their position and function. You know about the mycoplasma, a type of bacterial cell. It is the smallest cell, 0.1 to 0.3 micron meter in the diameter. Rest of the bacteria in the range of 3 to 5 micron meter. The largest cell is ostrich egg, and human red blood cells is 7 micron meter in diameter. In if we talk about the smallest cell in the humans, then it is RBC, and it is 7 micron meter in diameter. Nerve cell is the longest cell. Shape of the cell may be cuboidal shape, columnar shape, polygonal, thread like, irregular. You have seen in the tissue chapters. Okay, so here are some of the differences between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. First point about the prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell is, in case of prokaryotic cell, nucleus or the nuclear membrane is absent, while in eukaryotic cell nuclear membrane is present, well developed nucleus is present. Okay, second point, cell are smaller in size in case of prokaryotes, while in case of eukaryotes cells are larger. Prokaryotes only single chromosome is present, while in case of eukaryotes more than one chromosomes are present. Fourth point, membrane bound cell organelles are absent, and in case of eukaryotes membrane bound cell organelles are present. Okay, these are the few points, but rest point we will discuss later in this chapter. Okay, the example of prokaryotes are bacterial cell, blue green algae cells, means the cyanobacteria, etc., while the eukaryote includes animal cell, plant cell, and fungal cell. In the right side you can see some of the diagram. The first diagram is typical eukaryotic cell, which is 10 to 20 micron meter and average. You can see here nucleus, mitochondria, Golgi body, different cell organelles. Okay, and this is the eukaryotic cell, and this is typical bacterial cell. Okay, it is in the range of 1 to 2 micron meter. PPLO means pleuropneumonia like organism. Mycoplasma is one of them. Okay, means mycoplasma or PPLO are the same thing. It is about 0.1 micron to 0.3 micron meter in diameter, usually smallest. But the in the last virus, virus is not a cell, because it consists of only the genetic material, and genetic material is covered with a proteinaceous coat known as capsid. So other cell organelles and cytoplasm, protoplasm, etc. are absent, so it is not a cell. That's why it is non-living. It is dead outside any host. It will perform living functions only when it get any living host cell. Okay, now we will discuss about prokaryotic cell in more detail. Prokaryotic cells are represented by bacteria, blue-green algae, mycoplasma, and other PPLOs. They multiply rapidly and vary in size greatly. Means multiplication power is more in prokaryotic cell as compared to eukaryotic cell, and the size, there are different sizes of the prokaryotic cell. Here we will see some shapes of the bacteria. It may be coccus or the cocci. Cocci is plural form, coccus is singular form. Coccus means spherical shaped bacteria. Bacillus or the bacilli. Bacilli is plural form, bacillus is singular form. It means rod shaped bacteria. Vibrio. Vibrio means comma shaped bacteria. Spirillum means spiral shape bacterium. You can see the diagrams. First is cocci. Cocci means spherical shape. So if bacteria is present isolated condition, means single bacterium, then it is known as coccus. If it is present in pairs, then it is known as diplococcus or diplococci. If it is present in the group of 4, then it is known as tetrad. If it forms the bundle, then it is known as sarcina. If it forms a chain, so strepto word is used for the chain, then the bacterial named will be streptococci. And if they form a cluster, then it is known as staphs, because staph term is used for the cluster, so it will named as staphylococci. Okay, staphylococci are present in our skin. Okay, next is bacillus or bacilli, means rod shaped bacteria. Again, if it is present singly, then it is known as monobacillus or simply bacillus. If it is present in pair, then it is known as diplobacillus. If it forms a chain, so strepto word will be used, that is streptobacillus. And if it not form a chain but present just parallel to each other, okay, and form a cluster, then it is known as palisade. Okay, so bacillus or monobacillus, diplobacillus, streptobacillus, and palisade type. If the structure is like that, neither purely spherical, not purely the rod shape, so it will named as cocobacillus. Other shapes, spiralum shape, spirilla are the example, so it is like spring, like this. Okay, and vibrio are comma shaped, like this, comma shaped bacterium. Okay, other shapes you can see corynebacterium, spirochetes, and all. Now we will discuss in more detail about the structure of the bacterial cell. This is a typical bacterial cell. In this bacterial cell you can see the various structures. So don't confuse, I will talk about one of the structure one by one. First we will discuss about the envelope part, the outermost covering. Outermost covering is known as cell envelope, which is made up of three layer. Outermost is known as glycocalyx, middle one is known as cell wall, and innermost is known as cell membrane. Okay, so don't worry about anything, you will understood very much clear about this. So this is the envelope part. You can see the three layers. Outermost glycocalyx we will discuss, and second one is cell wall, third one is plasma membrane, innermost lining. Inside the cell membrane the cytoplasmic content is present. Okay, cytoplasm is present. In cytoplasm the largest structure, this is the largest structure, this is the genetic material, means it is known as nucleoid or the nuclear body. It is actually DNA. This is double stranded, circular, and coiled. Double stranded means this is one strand and this is second strand of the genome or the DNA. Coiled means sorry, first we will talk about circular. So it is circular, means these two strands are present like this. Okay, and attached, both strands are attached with the help of hydrogen bonds, this, but it is coiled also, so it is not proper this circular, this is coiled. Coiling is present, this is one thread, one strand, and this is another strand, and it is present in coiled form, so it is present like this. Okay, so this is genetic material. Another structures are mesosomes. Mesosome is actually infolding of the cell membrane. Cell membrane, because in case of prokaryotes, you know, no any membrane bound cell organelle is present, so most of the structures is formed by the cell membrane by infolding itself. So mesosome infold itself and form a mesosome, which is analogous to the mitochondria. Okay, and respiratory enzymes are associated with the mesosome as well as directly with the cell membrane also. Inside the cell, inside the cytoplasm, RNA is also present, and 70th type of ribosome is present. Sometime a ribosome is attached with the cell membrane. Some are present freely in the cytoplasm, and sometimes it forms polysome. Polysome means when many ribosomes attach with single messenger RNA, it forms the structure polysome. Okay, and other structures inside the cytoplasm is stored food, stored form of food, which is like the glycogen granules, lipid lobules, etc. Okay, and few structures arises outside the cell membrane which helps in adhering or attachment. For example, pilus and fimbriae, both are different thing. uh, we will discuss about this in this topic. Pilus, it is thick and long. Fimbriae are small and thin structure. Pilus are 1 to 5 per cell, but fimbriae are 200 to 400 per cell. Pilus helps in attachment with the another bacteria, while fimbriae helps in attachment with the substratum or any rocky surface or any host cell. Then we will talk about structure which helps in motility. Filament, flagella. Flagella is made up of three components: filament, hook, and basal body. These three structures together known as flagella. Okay, a basal body in the bottom side here, and then structure is hook, and the elongated structure is filament. Okay, so these are the structures. We will discuss in more detail one by one. First, cell wall. This is just description and the detail is later. Cell wall. All the prokaryotes have cell wall which surrounds the cell membrane except in the mycoplasma. You know the mycoplasma, smallest bacterial cell or smallest cell, but it do not contain cell wall, while other bacterial cell contain cell wall. Cytoplasm, the fluid matrix which is filling the cell, is cytoplasm. Nucleoid. Nucleoid means there is no well developed nucleus in the bacterial cell. So the genetic material is basically naked, means not enveloped by the nuclear membrane. So the part of the cytoplasm where genetic material is present is known as nucleoid. So if you see the eukaryotic cell, there the genetic material or the DNA is present in well defined structure known as nucleus. Nucleus is made up of nuclear envelope, nucleoplasm, and nucleolus also there. But in case of bacteria, you can see only the genetic material DNA is present in the cytoplasm. No any well developed boundary is there like the nuclear envelope. So if the genetic material is present directly into the cytoplasm, then the place where it is present is known as nucleoid. Okay, genetic material, it is single chromosome. uh, Here single DNA is present which is similar to a single chromosome. So but small chromosome is present here, and it is known as genomic DNA or the prochromosome. It is circular, coiled, and double stranded DNA. Plasmid, extra uh, chromosomal DNA is also present. In addition to the genomic DNA, many bacteria have small circular DNA outside the genomic DNA. These smaller DNA are called plasmids or extra chromosomal DNA. The plasmid DNA confers certain unique phenotypic characters. So, such bacteria, for example, resistance to the antibiotics. When we talk about any bacteria, the plasmid is not present in all the bacteria. It is present in most of the bacteria. It is not the part of genome. It is extra DNA, extra chromosomal DNA, and it do not participate in the viability of the bacteria. Means if we withdraw all the plasmid from the bacterial cell will not die because it not helps in viability of the bacteria, but it provided some extra phenotypic characters. For example, some plasmids are responsible for making the bacteria resistant from the antibiotics. Okay, and many more examples of the plasmids are present. Different type of plasmids are present which provide multiple characteristics. For example, pilus, you have seen pilus or the pili is also not take over by the all the bacteria. It is present in few bacteria which having the plasmid for the production of the pilus. Okay. In higher class, you will learn that plasmid DNA is used to monitor the bacterial transformation with the foreign DNA. Okay, plasmid in biotechnology chapter we will discuss the plasmid, how it is utilized for making the recombinant DNA, and by this recombinant DNA we produce um, most of the vaccines, genetically recombinant vaccines, many type of proteins, enzymes, etc. Cell organelles, in case of bacteria no cell organelles are present, like one of the eukaryotes are found in, but in case of prokaryotes only the ribosome is present, because ribosome is non-membranous structure. Now we will talk about the cell envelope and its modification. The bacterial cell have chemically complex cell envelope. The cell envelope consists of tightly bound three layered structures. First structure is glycocalyx. It is outermost layer. Second is, or the middle one is cell wall, and the third one is the innermost plasma membrane you have seen in the diagram. First we will talk about the glycocalyx. Although each layer of the envelope perform the distinct function, they act together as a single protective unit. All these three structures together perform a function, that is protection. Glycocalyx differ in composition and thickness among the different bacteria. Okay, in some bacteria slimy layer is present. Slimy layer means it is loose sheath, while in other bacteria capsules are present. Capsule may be present, which is thick and tough means in some bacteria the slimy layer means the outermost covering. Just suppose this is the bacteria and it is outermost covering known as glycocalyx. If the glycocalyx is made up of only few amino acids, then it forms the slimy layer, which will be a loose sheath. So loose sheath only it provide adherence, because it is somewhat adhesive. It will become adhesive, but not so much tough or protective. But in few bacteria, in place of slimy layer, a capsule is present, means this outermost covering, the glycocalyx, is contain some polysaccharides also along with the amino acids, so it becomes more thicker. Okay, it will becomes more thicker as well as tough also. So it actually the capsule is much protective, hard structure. Okay, next layer is cell wall. Bacteria can be classified into two groups on the basis of the gram stain taken by the cell wall. The cell may be gram positive bacteria or the gram negative bacteria. The cell wall determine the shape of the bacteria and provide a strong structural support to prevent the bacterium from bursting or collapsing. Okay, because cell wall is a rigid structure, it uh, do not allow the bacterial cell to expand when we placed a bacterial cell in water, so it prevent the bacterium from bursting or collapsing also. So what is gram positive, gram negative? We can see it over here. So gram is actually a stain. Gram is actually a gram, which is named after a scientist, Christian Gram. Okay, so when he apply a crystal violet, when he applied crystal violet, which is also known as the gram stain, few bacteria take this stain. That bacteria are called gram positive bacteria, and those which do not take this crystal violet, it will known as gram negative bacteria. Okay, so the color of these bacteria are crystal violet, so it will like this, because cell wall get stained. But those bacteria which do not take the stain, it will initially it is colorless, so it will not show any color. Okay, like this. And next point, cell wall layers, it is single layered. Means only if we talk about the cell wall, then the cell wall is single layered in case of gram positive bacteria, while in case of gram negative it is multi layered. In case of gram positive bacteria, third point, peptidoglycan, means cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. Peptidoglycan is present in both the bacteria, both type of bacteria. But in case of gram positive, it is completely peptidoglycan layer. Okay, or it is also known as murine. But in case of gram negative bacteria, it is multi-layered. So you can see the two layer, outermost layer is made up of LPS. LPS means lipopolysaccharide, and inner layer is made up of peptidoglycan. So the peptidoglycan content is more in case of gram positive and less in case of gram negative bacteria. Okay, thickness here, whether it is single layered, but peptidoglycan content is much more, so it is much thicker, while in case of gram negative bacteria the cell wall is much thin. Whether it is multi-layered, but all the layers are very thin, overall cell wall is thin in case of gram negative bacteria. Antigenic, you know that any foreign particle which which enter into our body is known as antigen. So our cells detect the some structure which are present over the surface of bacteria or any pathogen which enter into the cell, which enter into our body. So what are the chemicals which are detected in our body by the WBC cells? So in case of gram positive bacteria, it is teichoic acid which is present over the cell wall. Means if it is the cell wall, if this is the cell wall, if this is the cell, okay, so above this some structures are present, some chemicals are present over this is actually teichoic acid. These are just attached with the cell wall. These shows the antigenic property. By identifying this chemical, our body recognize that it is not the part of our body, it is any foreign substance. Same antigenic property in case of gram negative bacteria is represented by LPS, lipopolysaccharide layer, outer layer. The examples of the gram positive bacteria are Staphylococcus, Streptococcus, Enterococcus, etc. Okay, and gram negative bacteria examples are E. coli, Salmonella, Shigella, and Pseudomonas, etc. Now the third layer is plasma membrane. We have discussed the glycocalyx, outermost layer, then cell wall, middle one, and last one is plasma membrane. So the plasma membrane is selectively permeable. You know, cell membrane or plasma membrane is selectively permeable in the nature and interact with the outside world. This membrane is similar structurally to the eukaryotes. Means in case of eukaryotes and prokaryotes, structurally there is no much difference. Some extensions of the plasma membrane are mesosomes, fimbriae, and pilus. I have discussed. So what is mesosome? It is a spatial membranous structure known as mesosome, which is formed by the extension of the plasma membrane. Okay, it is the extension of the plasma membrane into the cell. These extensions are in the form of vesicles. Okay, these mesosomes may be in the form of vesicles, may be from tubules or the lamellae. Means if this is the bacteria and the inner, and when it extend inward, then it maybe forms the vesicle like structure. Vesicle means like this, like a vesicle or the bag. Tubules means like this. Lamellae means like this type of structure. Lamellae means parallel structures like this is the parallel structure. So this is the cell, and inside this cell the cell membrane enfold and form this mesosome in the form of lamella. So any one structure is may be present in different type of bacteria. Okay, they help in cell wall formation because the mesosome contains some respiratory enzymes and other enzymes which helps, and it also provide uh, it also attach with the new genetic material which are present in the bacterial cell. So by the combination of this it helps in the formation of cell wall. Means cell wall, the content of the cell wall is contributed by mesosome. Also because it is attached with the DNA, so it helps in replication by providing energy because it is analogous to the mitochondria of the eukaryotes, and it contains respiratory enzymes so involved in respiration. After the respiration energy is produced, this energy is involved in the replication of the DNA and distribution to the daughter cells. Okay, distribution to the daughter cell means when DNA becomes 2 and cell also becomes 2 after division, then each of the DNA copy is occupied by both the bacterial cell. So this replicated DNA is distributed between the daughter cells. They also helps in respiration because contain respiratory enzymes. They also helps in secretion process, and to increase the surface area of the plasma membrane and the enzymatic contents. Okay, now in some prokaryotes like in the cyanobacteria, there are other membranous structures, extensions into the cytoplasm are present, because in case of cyanobacteria very special process is taking place, that is photosynthesis. For the photosynthesis they required some pigments for trapping the sunlight, and these pigments are known as chromatophores. So the chromatophores, the infolding of the cell membrane also forms the chromatophores. Okay, it also forms the chromatophores. Next structure is pilus or the fimbriae. These are also the surface structures of the bacteria but do not play a role in motility. They are made up of special proteins known as pillin protein. Okay, means this is the bacteria and some structures are thick and long but not more than 5. It may be 1, 2, 3 or maximum 5. Okay, this is known as pilus singular form or pili. They are made up of a special type of protein known as pillin. So pilus and fimbriae, these are the pilus which are thick, and some thin structures like this is the thin and small structures are present over the surface. These are not involved in motility of the bacteria. They are surface structure, helps in they do not play the motility role. Okay, it helps in attachment only with the different surfaces. Pilus is elongated, thick, long tubular structure, usually 1 to 5 in number per cell. It helps in attachment to the one bacterium to the other during the transfer of genetic material. Means when another bacteria come in contact like this, then this pilus helps in attachment. Okay, and when it attach, then the genetic material, maybe the plasmid, can come through this tube. Now this tube will known as conjugation tube, and it will enter into this bacteria. This plasmid will enter into the another bacteria, and after some time this membrane, this conjugation tube will break, both bacteria will separated. So pilus work like this. Okay, The next structure is fimbriae. Fimbriae are small bristles like structure. These are the fibers sprouting out of the cell. In some bacteria, they are known to help attach the bacteria to the rock in streams and also to the host tissues. Okay, so fimbriae helps in attachment with any surface. And the last structure is flagella. Flagella, the bacterial cell may be motile or non-motile, because flagella is not present in all the bacteria. It is present only in the bacteria which are motile. Okay. If the bacteria is motile, they have thin filamentous extension from their cell wall, through their cell wall actually, this known as flagella. Bacteria show a range in number and arrangement of the flagella. The bacterial flagellum is composed of three parts: filament, hook and basal body, as I have discussed in the diagram. The filament is the longest portion and extend from cell surface to the outside. If this is the bacteria, outermost layer, this is cell wall layer and innermost cell membrane. Okay, so from the cell membrane, here the basal body is present. From the basal body, the hook will be present, and from the hook the longest structure, that is filament, will arise. So these three, the longest part is the filament, this is filament, this is hook, and this is the basal body, last part. Okay, so this is the arrangement. And in case of prokaryote, this flagella is made up of flagellin protein. Okay, but in eukaryotes, flagella is also present in the eukaryotes, but it is made up of different protein. Okay, but in case of prokaryote, it is made up of flagellin protein. Next structure is ribosomes and inclusion bodies. So first we will talk about ribosome. In case of prokaryote, the ribosome are associated with the plasma membrane of the cell. They are made up of two subunits, 50S and 30S. You can see in this diagram, the smallest unit is 30S, largest unit is made up of 50S, but when both combined it forms the 70S ribosome. Okay, we will talk later in the eukaryotic cell what does this means what is S and why when they combine it forms the 80, 30 plus 50, not 80, it is 70. Why it will, I will definitely discuss in the eukaryotic part. Okay, 50S and 30S, these two subunits, and when they together when they unite, they forms the 70S type of ribosomes, which is present in this prokaryotic cell. 70S is also present in the eukaryotic cell. Ribosomes are the site for the protein synthesis. The function of the ribosome is providing the site for the protein synthesis. Sometimes several ribosomes may attach to a single messenger RNA to form polysomes or polyribosomes or the polysome. This one here, the green line is known as messenger RNA, and the larger and smaller subunit combine to form the ribosome. And this type of ribosome, many ribosomes are attached with this single messenger RNA, then this whole structure is known as polyribosome or the polysome. The ribosome of the polysome translate the messenger RNA into protein. Translation means formation. You have to know that DNA forms the RNA and RNA forms the protein. Okay, so when DNA form itself, this is known as replication of the DNA or the duplication of the DNA. When DNA forms the RNA, it is known as transcription, and when RNA forms the protein, it is known as translation. So translate the messenger RNA. Messenger RNA are of three type: tRNA, mRNA, rRNA. Here we will discuss this part in the 12th chapter, in the 12th class. and here the messenger RNA will form the protein because it contains the codes for the formation of protein. Okay, this is the ribosome. Next is inclusion bodies. Inclusion body means reserve material. It contains the reserve material in the prokaryotic cell, uh, stored form of food actually in the cytoplasm. So all the stored form of food collectively known as inclusion bodies. They are not bound by any membrane because it is prokaryote. In case of prokaryotes, cell membrane bound organelles are absent. Here only one membrane is present, and that is known as cell membrane. Okay, and after the cell membrane, no any membranous structure is present in the bacterial cell. They lie freely in the cytoplasm. So these include inclusion bodies, maybe the phosphate granules. Phosphate granules means some granules will be present which stores the phosphate, and this phosphate granules are also known as volutin. Cyanophycean granules may be present. These granules store the nitrogen and carbon. Glycogen granules stores the glycogen. Okay, so these are the inclusion bodies. These are the inclusion bodies. After the inclusion body, one more structure is present, that is gas vacuole. Gas vacuole are found in blue green algae, purple sulfur bacteria, green sulfur bacteria, means the photosynthetic bacteria. Purple sulfur and green sulfur are the photosynthetic bacteria. So gas vacuole is not present in all the bacteria, it is present only in the photosynthetic bacteria, because blue green algae are also the photosynthetic, purple and green sulfur bacteria are also the photosynthetic. Okay, but this gas vacuole is not similar to other vacuole, because other vacuole contain membrane, and in case of prokaryotes no any membranous structure is present. So the gaseous vacuole contain the gases, the metabolic gases, but it is not surrounded by true membrane, it is surrounded by false membrane. True membrane is made up of protein plus lipid both, but this gas vacuole is not made up of protein plus lipid. It is few proteins form the outermost covering of this gas vacuole. Okay, so it is not a true membrane, and if it contain gas, then it will make the cell lighter, so helps in floating in the water, and also provide buoyancy. Okay, floating and buoyancy. So the rest cells and the rest eukaryotic cell and other part we will discuss in the next class. Thank you, class.